What's one advice you would give to college students?
Just have a good time while you still can. It's a lot of fun, and make sure to take advantage of all the opportunities you can get and all the new ideas and people you can meet.
What's one advice you would give to college students?
I would say everyone says it, but you need to learn to manage your time. Because everyone told it to me when I was coming in, and I thought I understood what they meant, but I didn't understand what they meant at all. You have to actually make a schedule, not just think about all the things you need to take care of. Having things written down and being able to cross them out when they get done can help infinitely with making sure you're on track of everything you need to get done. I was struggling with trying to keep track of everything in my head and forgetting things, but having everything written down makes everything way easier. I got a specific, a planner with a calendar in it. That helped me actually be able to keep track of everything, but I know at least my first year, I was always the kid who was too lazy to write everything down, just keep everything in my head. Did not work out very well for me.
What's one advice you would give to college students?
Find a roommate or find a friend to walk around with. Find someone that you can be with so you're not by yourself.
Wait, have you personally struggled with that? Or?
Yeah, at first I did because I didn't want to walk up to anybody because I just didn't want to go to anybody I didn't know. But people are nice.
So what's one advice you would give to college students?
Be open to being able to change how you study, for example, and metacognition. Learn how you study, and if something doesn't work, be ready to change what you're doing. Maybe even for how you study for an exam, because most first years, when they come in, they'll usually fail their first exam, right? It doesn't mean they're doing anything completely wrong. It's just that they maybe need to change how they're going about it.
So what's one advice you would give to college students?
Prioritize your things. Whether if you're an athlete or you're just a normal student, prioritize your schedule and keep doing the same thing you were doing at home. You're away from home and you're free without parents, guardians, so that means you have to take care of yourself. They're not here to give you a curfew, but you know yourself and you know how long you should be staying out, what you should be doing, and the people you should hang around, and just live it up,
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Weigh your options.
Oh, what do you mean by that?
You can succeed in so many different ways, and you need to find out what your definition of success is.
So what is your definition of success?
My definition of success is a place where I'm able to consistently show up for myself and thrive. But thriving looks different for different people.
So what's one advice you'd give to college students?
I would say try things. Don't keep to yourself too much. Try to step out of your comfort zone at least a little bit. For me, it was exploring clubs, things that were interesting, just stuff that maybe I would not have done in high school or before, but
Yeah.
like this, sure. Or I don't know, I'm an engineer, so trying out some of the project teams, maybe stuff that looks challenging but could be interesting to try out.
I would definitely agree with that. Trying out new things, trying out clubs was big for me. All the clubs I've been in is where I made a lot of my friends and stuff. And other than that, I would say don't procrastinate your homework and go to class.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Enjoy it while you're here, because you're only here once and it's a pretty free time in your life where you have a lot of opportunities to do a lot of stuff.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Oh my God, that's a good question. Try a bunch of different stuff out and stick with what makes you happy.
Happy?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So what's one advice you'd give to college students? Or advice you've heard from other people?
First move-in week, go ahead and leave your door open. Other than that, cover your drinks.
So what's one advice you'd give to college students? If you're a freshman, advice you've heard from other people?
I think just kind of talk to a lot of people around you, especially people who you're I might not have talked to them originally, or maybe I wouldn't have gone up to them if they were in high school, because you can just start fresh here. Yeah, I think kind of the same, leaving your door open if you're in the dorms, talking to your neighbors, even if you're a house or an apartment, and joining clubs. I've definitely met a lot of people through clubs that I would never have thought my high school wouldn't offer them. There's something for everyone here.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Say yes to everything. You only have like 4 years, so make the most out of it. Have fun. Classes are classes.
So what's one advice you'd give to college students?
Holy shit, that's kind of deep.
Don't stress out too much about college. Like freshman year was my worst year, but after that, it's just, you gotta understand it's not high school. That was my biggest thing I've learned from freshman year, yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I think it's just about like going out there and take risks. Like for real, like this sounds like generic as shit, but like I never like learned to dance before I met like these guys. Just like go out there and like try things that you have never tried before. Well, you might be like uncomfortable with it, but like at the end of the day, you like learn more about yourself.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
I think I would tell them, find what matters to you and then really just invest in that. It's a lot of fun and like that's where you get fulfillment.
So what's one advice you would give to college students?
I would say prioritize self-care and make sure that you have balance in your life, because if you're not taking care of yourself, like everything else is going to suffer.
How do you balance your life? That's the question.
That is a great question. I mean, obviously it looks different for everyone. I just think like, you know, making sure that you're getting enough sleep, making sure that like you're taking breaks when you need to take breaks, making sure that you're like going outside, making sure that you're like eating enough, like those basic things I think like are just essential.
Gotcha.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Leave your door open.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Don't take the 8:30.
I mean, I don't think you're ready at 8:30. I think a lot of people stay up late or, you know, going out to parties and whatnot. And I think like 10 a.m. is probably a good start.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
One piece of advice that I would give is to find a good community of friends that are going to support you and encourage you during your time in college.
Have you personally struggled with that?
I was really blessed to find a good community of friends. I found H2O Campus Church. They became my best friends in my community and really helped me throughout college.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Learn to balance academic and party life.
Have you personally struggled with that?
In the beginning of last year I did. I've gotten better at it now. I know when to put party life on the back burner.
I'd say don't put as much stress on academics as you might think. Like save some time for social life too.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
In Sweden we have this saying that there's always going to be a re-exam, but there are no re-parties.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Don't buy textbooks. Buy them on Library Genesis. Download them on Library Genesis.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Join as many clubs as you possibly can.
Have you joined any clubs?
No, but I wish I joined more. I'm graduated now, but that's my biggest regret. Gotta join more clubs.
So you haven't been in any of the clubs your whole undergrad?
I joined a few, but I feel like the more you join, you know, the more people you meet that have similar interests, and yeah, it's a great way to meet people.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
You have a lot of freedom, like with your time, but you also have a lot of options. So I'd say definitely explore and figure out what you like.
Have you personally explored something in your undergrad?
I guess last year I tried out like campus band, just like a concert band. I played the sax. I briefly experimented with breakdancing club. I tried some project teams, just to explore what you're passionate about, and like find groups that you like, because there are many whole different like worlds here at UMich, so you can be part of many of them.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Yeah, I think college is a really great place to learn what you want to learn about. I think it's a really good chance to meet people who are going to change what you want to learn about, and as you kind of get capacity as an adult, just take the time and learn. It's a really great spot for that.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Think about what true happiness feels like. A lot of times we go through life, and college is like this too, where we're always kind of looking forward to the next, year, next semester, next job, next internship. And we kind of have this impression in our minds like, okay, once I get there, I'll be happy. Obviously, we all know from life experience that that's not the case, right? But I think it's important to reflect on like why that is in general terms and plan your life accordingly, because I think it's easy to go through all of college and life with that mindset too.
What's one advice you'd give to college students?
Try not to get too bent out of shape about the little things and just focus on the big picture and really remind yourself what you're here for, thinking of what the end goal is rather than all the little obstacles along the way.
I would say that taking the time to get to know yourself and to learn about the people around you who will influence your growth is one of the biggest things that you should keep in mind in college. Of course, like prioritize your education, but you should also try to learn about yourself and just the factors that will keep you growing in a positive trajectory.